Okay, this is part 6 of a series I call Red Skies. Right here I'm driving in Illinois with my wife. We are on our way to shut down for the day, and we are in Marion, Illinois. There will be exit 54 on I-57, and you will notice how mucked up the sky is here. You will also notice something quite peculiar when we come on the off-ramp. I have a few still pictures of that too that will follow after this little video sequence. But I want to read something to you. And before you get on your high horse and get all excited over, but this is not biblical and all this stuff, I do think that we need in some way to respect that there's other people that had a very keen connection with nature and were living in harmony on our planet, not taking more from the planet that was needed, like white-skinned men do. It's all about greed in that regard. And I'm speaking about the Hopis, and this is quite interesting what they have to say regarding this incoming planet. But first, I want to read the 9 signs. We are told of the coming of white-skinned men like Pahana, but not living like Pahana, men who took the land that was not theirs, and men who struck their enemies with thunder. Meaning, the Native America got invaded by white-skinned men, and the white-skinned men killed them with guns. The second sign, our land will see coming of spinning wheels filled with voices. In his youth, my father saw this prophecy come true with his eyes. The white men bringing their families in wagons across the prairies. There was the settlers. A strain speeds like a buffalo, but with great long horns will overrun the land in large numbers. These white feathers saw with his eyes the coming of white men's cattle, and that's today what we would call the cow, the longhorn. And the fourth sign, the land will be crossed by snakes of iron. That will be the railroad. The fifth sign, the land shall be crisscrossed by giant spider webs. I will call that in that time the telegraph. The sixth sign, the land shall be crisscrossed with rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun, meaning mirages, meaning asphalt roads. The seventh sign, you will hear of the sea turning black and many living things dying because of it. I'm not sure, but I would suspect that that would be the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. And then the eighth sign, you will see many youth who wear their long hair like my people come and join the tribal nations to learn their ways and wisdom. That is happening. And the last and the ninth sign, you will hear of a dwelling place in heavens, above the earth, that shall fall with a great crash. It will appear as a blue sky. Very soon after this, the ceremonies of my people will cease. Well, Skylab have dropped to the ground. The space station Mir has dropped to the ground. And now we only got one left, and that is the International Space Station. So I will jump straight over and start reading about the Red Kashina prophecy. The story of the Blue Kashina is very old story, very old. I've been aware of the story of the Blue Kashina since I was very young. I was told this story by grandfathers who are now between 80 and 180 years of age. Frank Waters also wrote about the Sasquatchohu, the Blue Kashina, in the Book of the Hopi. The story came from the grandfather Dan, oldest Hopi. Wonder why he had the name Dan. That's very interesting. You know, the lost tribes of Israel. There was one of the tribes called Dan. They went north in Europe. They actually founded the land I'm coming from, Denmark. And everywhere they went, they named it after Dan. So Denmark, or you would say Denmark in English, actually means the land of Dan. Well, I was told to me first Blue Kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make its appearance known to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that the end times are very near. Then the blue star Kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we are in the end times. In the final days we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of the two brothers who helped create this world in the birthing time. Puganhoya is the guardian of our North Pole, and his brother Pulanguahoya is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days, the blue star Kachina, will come with us, with his nephews, and they will return to the Earth, or return the Earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. Now, there is some speculation lately that these two twin comets that has just been on the sky here recently are actually those two brothers. Well, I'm not going to discuss it or dispute it. We can take it as we want to, but it could be so. Well, this fact evidenced by many of the petroglyphs that speak about the zodiac, and within the Maya and Egyptian pyramids. The rotation of Earth has been manipulated by not so benevolent star beings, meaning the fallen angels. The twins will be seen in our northwestern sky. They will come and visit to see who still remember the original teachings, flying in their patuwatas, or flying shields, which we would call a UFO, I guess. They will bring many of their star family with them in the final days. The return of the blue star Kachina, who was also known as Nangasuhu, will be the alarm clock that tells us of a new day and a new way of life. A new world is coming. There will be changes, this is where the changes begin. This will start as fires that burns within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict. We do not remember the original teaching and return to the peaceful way of life. And as we see today, the world is in turmoil pretty much everywhere. Not far behind the twins will come the purifier, the red Kachina, which we would call PlanetX, Nibiru, Helcobolus, all different names it's been given, but we hope it's called a Kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On this day the earth, her creatures and all life as we know will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. The messages will be found written in the living stone through the sacred grains and even in the waters. Crop circles has been found in ice. From the purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in their manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest things. Those who return to the ways given to us by the original teaching and live natural way of life will not be touched by the coming of the purifier. They will survive and build the new world, the fifth world. Only the ancient teaching will the ability to understand the messages be found. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, even within a drop of our blood. All life forms will receive the message from the twins, those that fly, the plants, even the rabbit. The appearance of the twins begins a period of 7 years. 7 years. will be our final opportunity to change our ways. 7 years. That's the same time span as the tribulation. That's 7 years. Now that's interesting. Everything we experience is all a matter of choice. Yeah, you choose to go with Yeshua or you choose to go with Lucifer. That's your choice. Many will appear to have lost their soul in these days. Yeah. So intense will the nature of the changes be that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane. Oh, do we read that about in Revelations 2? The people will go nuts. People shall seek, death shall not find it. Death shall escape them. For we are nothing without spirit. They will disappear, for they are just hollow vessels for anything to use. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave this plane, some in whole groups. Only those who return to the values of the old ways will be able to find peace of mind, for in the earth we shall find a relief from the madness that will all be around us. It will be a very hard time for women and children, for they will be shunned, and many of the children in these times will be unnatural. Some beings from the stars, some from the past worlds, some will even be created by man in an unnatural manner, clones, and will be soulless, hybrids. They have no soul, because the soul is what God gives you, meaning the soul means breath. He's giving you life. So you are soulless if you are a hybrid, because it's not created by God. Many of the people in this time will be empty in spirit. They will have sampaku, no life force in their eyes. We see that a lot too. People running around. If you notice people out on the streets, there's a lot of people that just look like they're more or less shut down. There's no spark in them. I want you to pay attention to people when you meet them on the street. Look at them. Just look at them. And you can see it. Something is going on inside them. It might not be good. As we close to the time of arrival, the purifier will be those who walk as ghosts through the cities. Through canyons they will have constructed in their manners man-made mountains. Those that walk these places will be very heavy in their walk. It will appear almost painful as they take each step, for they will be disconnected from their spirit and the earth. After the arrival of the two twins, they will begin to vanish before your eyes like much smoke. Others will have great deformities in both the mind upon their bodies. There will be those who would walk in the body that are not from this reality, for many of the gateways that once protected us will be opened, the bottomless pit. There will be much confusion between sexes and children and their elders. Oh, we see that today. Confusion between sexes. Should we say homosexuality? Should we say transgender? Should we say that children today do not respect their parents? They don't respect their elders either. They know better, they think. Life will get very perverted, and there will be little social orders in these times. Many will ask for the mountains themselves to fall upon them, just to end their misery. Do we find that in the book of Revelation too, that they ask the mountains to fall upon them, to hide them from the wrath of our Lord? Oh yeah. Still others will appear as if untouched by what occurring. These ones who remember the original teachings have reconnected their hearts and spirit. Those who remember who their mother and father is, the Pahana who have left to live in the mountains and in the forest. When the purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star, which will come very close and sit in our heavens watching us to see how well we have remembered the sacred teachings. This purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens, and yeah, our sky is teeming with weird occurrences, and it's going to intensify in the coming months, people. The Creator, it says here, the purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this way we will know Creator is not a dream. No, it's not a dream. It's not a fairy tale. Even those who do not feel their connection to Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt very strongly. Demons, perhaps. Many things will begin to occur, and that will not make sense, for reality will be shifting back in and out of the dream state. There will be many doorways to the lower world that will open at this time. Again, the bottomless pit, CERN. These things long forgotten will come back to remind us of our past creations. All living things will want to be parent or present for this day when time ends, and we will enter the forever cycle of the fifth world. We will receive many warnings allowing us to change our ways from below the earth as well as above. Oh, we heard that one before in the book, the big book called the Bible. As in below, as is above, so in below, right? Then one morning, in a moment, we will awaken to a red dawn. The sky will be the color of blood. Many things then will begin to happen that right now that we are not sure of their exact nature, for much of reality will not be as now. There will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days, some from the past and some that we have never seen. The nature of mankind will appear strange in these times. We walk between worlds, and we will house many spirits even within our bodies, demon possessions. After a time we will again walk with our brothers from the stars and rebuild the earth, but not until the purifier has left his mark upon the universe. No thing living will go untouched here or in the heavens. The way through this time, it is, as said, to be found in our hearts, in our reuniting with our spiritual self, getting simple and returning to living with and upon the earth and in harmony with their creatures, remembering that we are the caretakers, the firekeepers of the Spirit. Our relatives from the stars are coming home to see how well we have fared in our journey. The picture enclosed in this presentation are of the human beings, my Hopi grandfathers, and they are telling the truth. There is still time for you to change. So, it's pretty much laid out there. I mean, humanity has, in a great extent, lost its spirituality. Man has turned to idols, and when you worship idols, you become like the idol, pretty much. So if you worship some wild animal, you more or less act like that wild animal that you choose to have as your idol. And here I'm actually alluding to Hinduism and Buddhism. They have some very strange, non-earthly creatures representing gods, or idols for that matter. And as you see today, we have Kali, we have Shiva, which is of Hinduism, and they are evil of nature. And we have a group of people that sit in high places worshipping that, promoting that. We have Miley Cyrus that is definitely promoting Kali. So we see today that people have really lost it in a big way. But yet there is still a lot of people that are also finding back to where they should be, so they can go through what is coming and get to the other side of it. They will go untouched. So it's quite interesting, and I know the Hopi prophecy is not actually biblical, far from it, but they are pretty much in tune with what is exactly happening in these times and what will happen in the coming time of the great purification, as they were talking about. The red elk from the Hopis, I saw an interview with him here on YouTube a couple of years ago, more than that, and he was talking about the winds. They should be very bad. And one thing I have noticed, that is, our wind speeds are increasing. And one thing I know from the so-called scientific faculty is that our atmosphere is shrinking, meaning that the upper winds is getting closer to the surface of the planet, and the winds ruling up there is much, much stronger than the winds that we have here on Earth. So that could be exactly what he was talking about. And another thing about great purification was he said something that really made me think, what the heck? And that was, he said that he's amazed that there would even be any people left to drive the trains here in this country. So either it will be nuclear war, either it will be some biological agent which is being spread by the enemy or those who are within our own country, ruling this country to the ground, in order to get rid of us. Or it could be chemical warfare. I have really no idea. But that was what he said, that he was amazed that there would even be anybody left to drive the trains. That sounds a little scary to me. So we have to respect that what they say in this regard, because they are in tune with these events. They're definitely in tune. There's no question about that. So you can take it as it is. You can bashing me over my head. I really don't care. I just thought that I wanted to share this with you, besides what I also share with you regarding the great book called the Bible, which is not a fairy tale, which is actually a history book. It is also a book that teaches us, and it's a book that speaks about truth, love, compassion, mercy, forgiveness. And sometimes our Lord is doing stuff that seems to us to be some sort of, that's mean, but he's doing it for another reason that is further out in the future. And how he works, well, we are not to question that. One thing we just need to know is that he is the one who gave us breath, gave us our soul, and we should take very good care of that. And that's all I have to say. God bless you, and have a good day.